Win the incredible Steiger Craft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma and The Reel Seat at 707 Union Avenue in Brielle. Gear up for spring trolling with expert wireline installation and a full selection of mojos, plugs, and bunker spoons.
Beating the drum with clam, half bushel, full bushel, shucking and chumming, waiting for that runoff, or as Nick Konicheski and I found a couple of weeks ago, clamming in the Back Bay, experiencing those roving wolf packs, the bluefish, and popping off a couple of lost pieces of tackle and missed fish as well. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman Magazine, and here where I do a lot of my fishing in the Little Egg Harbor area around Great Bay. It's really good to see some of the Back Bay clamming starting to pick up again. I mean, anybody who has done this since Sandy, there has not been much of a Back Bay striper bite on clams, but this year, first time out for us earlier this year, found out it was working. We've got those bass in there, of course the roving packs of bluefish, and of course drum are in as well. In fact, Jim Whitman Sr. told me that he and his son Jim Jr. got out on Delaware Bay this past week, and they had 4 drum up to 60 pounds. They had a 60-pounder they brought into Jim's Bait and Tackle for weigh-in over the weekend. Well done there. But they're there now, the black drum. Everybody's waiting for May 10th. They always say, well, May 10th, we circle the full moon of May 10th on the calendar. We're not going to go drumming until then. I talked to Bob Cope about this. But the drum are there. They're along the Delaware coast. They're in the Delaware Bay, along the beaches at Brigantine. And yeah, they're back here in the Little Egg, Great Bay area as well, behind Long Beach Island. So that's good to see. Get out there and get on them while you got the opportunity. The weakfish run has also begun in earnest. Now, we had our earliest reports, if you remember, a few weeks back, with some of those first weakfish in the Barnegat Bay area, which were right around the Oyster Creek, outside of Oyster Creek. Well, now we're starting to get some Cape May reports as well. Mike Lofgren of Avalon had an 8-pounder just the other day over at Avalon Hodgepodge. He was throwing a Riptide mullet. It's a plastic, nationally manufactured plastic. But it's time to get out on those mirror lures and throw in those plastics, those tsunami split tails and those pinks, those pink zooms. The weakfish bite is turning on, and I'm sure the folks at Avalon Hodgepodge, which have already weighed an 8-pound tiderunner so far, they're probably going to get very busy in the next couple of weeks, especially as a Dreamboat weigh station. We had quite a few weakfish that were weighed in the contest there at Avalon Hodgepodge. The Dreamboat contest for 2017 is underway again as of this week. Now again, for you subscribers, it's only for subscribers. We've made some subtle changes to the contest this year. You're going to have to read all about it, go online, or pick up that May edition. It's also in this week's edition. One fish or one weigh-in per category, okay? And you're still competing for the most points, but this year we're going to give away a 21 Steiger and a Yamaha outboard engine. It should be terrific. Again, find all those details online or in the magazine, and we expect those weigh-ins to begin immediately with the weakfish and also with the bluefish. Don't forget, 4 of the top 10 bluefish on the 2016 leaderboard for the Dreamboat Challenge came during the spring run. That included one of the big ones. Gary Reed's 19.32-pound bluefish was caught this week last year and weighed into the Fisherman Magazine's Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. Now we've got plenty of big fish all along the coast. It starts out, we've had a bunch of 10-pounders of the last few days in the Brigantine area. Al Atkinson, he checked in with one over at Riptide Bait and Tackle. Andy says there's quite a few of those big-size bluefish, those double-digit bluefish. They're in Absecon. They're in Barnegat. They're coming through Manasquan as well, which is where Amanda from the Reel Seat, she sneaked away for a little while last week and worked the wall for a nice sized bluefish. Now a lot of these bluefish, finding out from friends, they're turning up in some of the darndest places. They're spreading out throughout the bay, and if you're looking for those big fish, they seemingly are swimming around like those roving wolf packs. They're up in one spot, they're gone. It's a lot of stick and move, but I'll tell you, if you're driving someplace and see one of those Back Bay bathing beaches, for example, and the wind is blowing a little east, northeast or something like that, and you see it's nice and calm, and you think, oh, looks like a great place to catch fish. It might be, with these bluefish spread out all over the bay. And they're also, of course, out front. And I'm sure that some of the party boats are going to start baiting and jigging for some of those bluefish. As a matter of fact, this week, mentioning the Reel Seat crew, Eric Buns, and some folks from Accurate Reels, they jumped aboard the Gambler this week to test out some new equipment, got in on some of the bluefish action. I guess if you want to test the strength and durability of an inshore reel, why not go with a real drag burner like a bluefish? Well done, Sean Loy and the folks at Accurate, for choosing the Jersey coast to try some of this tackle. And again, this is the time where you start heading out front. You can get your plastics, your soft plastics, just stripped apart with bluefish, but they love them. Maybe look for some of those top waters, the spoons, the alligator spoons, and of course try jigging up some of those bluefish as those bluefish start arriving along the coast. And again, they're filtering up through all the bays and rivers, some real monsters even up around Island Heights and the Toms River. So be on the lookout for some of those choppers, especially as that Dreamboat contest commences this week. Now, stripers are in the mix as well. Pete Sykes left Belmar for the Raritan to join the fleet up there. And again, Pete's telling us the same thing, waiting for that full moon on May 10th and hopefully kicking things into gear and moving more of those big fish along the front beaches. But right now it's a pick along the Raritan. Again, a lot of folks having trouble getting through to the bluefish. I think a lot of those big stripers are up the Hudson right now and spawning, because we do find out a lot more of those bigger stripers still getting some reports of the catch and release as those stripers move up the Delaware River as well. So I still think we're a little early on the season, and at some point in the next couple of weeks, it should be about time to re-spool with new wire and break out those Majas and those Mojos, and of course your trolling plugs as well. Get those trolling plugs ready to roll like Captain Joe on the Little Hawk up there on the Raritan Bay. Last week we ended talking about the amazing opportunities to get the kids out there fishing right now with all those bluefish and of course a few stripers and maybe some drum as well. Kevin Schmidt emailed us this week. He and his two boys, Eric and Owen, got on them just this past week, and he showed us the one bluefish had spit up what he called a regurgitated lobster. I've taken a look at that. It's actually a mantis shrimp. A great bait. But if you guys experience any of these live mantis shrimp, keep your fingers away from those claws. I understand they call them thumb splitters because those claws can really do some damage to the digits. So keep that in mind. And if you're all thumbs when it comes to technology, don't worry. We've updated the fisherman.com, the brand new feature where you can add your own reports. So you can add those photos and fishing reports with us at thefisherman.com. You'll see that Add Your Report button on the home page, and we hope that you can send us along some of those photos so we can share them here and maybe even share them in next week's video forecast when we return. We do it every week, so I'll see you next week right here at thefisherman.com.
The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma and the Reel Seat at 707 Union Avenue in Brielle. Gear up for spring trolling with expert wireline installation and a full selection of Mojos, plugs, and bunker spoons. Win the incredible Steiger Craft 21 dB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today.